Hello, welcome back to my channel, hope you're doing well. I recently unboxed all 15 fragrances from Swedish brand Niche for All. I smelled them on paper, gave you my first impressions. Since then, I've had time to give them some wear, so I've put together my top 5. Stay tuned. So the idea behind Niche for All is pretty simple. They want to offer high quality fragrances at a more affordable price point, making niche perfumery a bit more accessible to people who don't want to spend too much money. They offer 2 bottle sizes. The 30ml costs around £45 and the 100ml costs around £80. So essentially you're paying designer prices for niche quality fragrances. If any of these appeal, I've left a link in the description. None of these fragrances are direct clones, although there is some familiarity here. Some remind me of other things that I've smelled, although sometimes I can't put my finger on it, and then some to me are completely new smells. But across the board, the quality is high. So here are my top 5 Niche for All fragrances. Since it's summer, I'm going to start with a freshie. This one is Sea Mint. That's mint with a T on the end, because there are a few dirty-minded people out there who like to mishear when I say sea mint sometimes. The notes are bergamot, lemon, spearmint, jasmine, sea, lavender, wood, nutmeg, oud and cardamom. I'd describe this one as minty fresh air with some sweetness. It starts out with this really nice, invigorating, sweet spearmint smell. I don't really get a lot of sea from this. Sometimes if something's got sea notes in, or if it's called sea, then I would maybe expect to smell something a little bit salty, maybe smell a bit of ambergris, that type of thing. Something that reminds me of the coast, of the sea, of a beach. But I don't really get that. It does sort of remind me of a fresh sea breeze. You know, you're standing by the ocean, you've got the fresh air, maybe there's some minty plant things just by where you stood, so you're getting that fresh air mixed with the mint. So it doesn't have one of these typical marine, salty, aquatic vibes, which is fine because there's so many of those anyway, and I don't miss it in this fragrance. It's very lovely without that sea saltiness. What I do get though is some cooling spices, and for me, they add some character to the fragrance. They give it a nice distinctive character. They give it a little bit of an assertive personality, which I really enjoy. The other great thing about this is it has good depth and performance. So for a fresher type of fragrance, it's got some body to it. It's got a bit of weight to it. It's not a big fragrance. It doesn't project massively, but longevity on this was good. I did get nice projection. I wore it all day by the coast, by the sea, which was nice, and out in the fresh air, I was still getting lovely minty wafts, and it just did seem to complement the fresh sea air perfectly. I think you could wear this all year round, but summer is the time to wear this fragrance because it's got that cooling, refreshing, invigorating vibe to it. So if you're looking for something bright and uplifting with good performance and a bit minty, then try Sea Mint. Mint. Going a little bit darker for the next one, but this still has some brightness to it. This is a beautiful, versatile fragrance, actually. The next one I'm going to talk about is Amber Vetiver. Notes in this are bergamot, lemon, immortelle, amber, vetiver and papyrus. You get the brightness of the citruses in this, and then you get this really nice dry vetiver, which is just a touch smoky. And the amber in here, it's called Amber Vetiver, but I wouldn't say it's a very ambery fragrance. I mean, there is amber here, there is that lovely smooth buttery depth that you get from amber, but it's not as rich and it's not as deep as some other amber fragrances are. And because of that, I think it has a versatility. So it's definitely something that I would be very happy wearing all year round. There is some good depth to the fragrance though, coming from the woods, spices and a little hint of leather, which seems to add a pleasing complexity without the fragrance ever becoming too dark, which is what helps it maintain its versatility. It's also got really good performance. It smells clean and classy. If you want something versatile, something mass appealing, something really easy to wear, but something that has a really distinctive character so that you would stand out, I can highly recommend Amber Vetiver. You know I love tobacco in fragrances, and one of the best notes that complements tobacco is honey. So that's why I love this one so much, because it's called Honey Tobacco. Notes are bergamot, lemon, honey, jasmine, tonka bean, vanilla and tobacco. When you first spray this, it's quite a bright scent, and it's probably because of the citrus. It's not a zesty or a juicy citrus. It doesn't really smell citrusy. I think it's just providing a brightness. It really has a lift when you first spray this. So initially you get a lot of projection because these brighter notes are just carrying it off your skin. What I do get though is this really nice clean lavender note. It's not that prominent, it's not very strong, but it is in there and it smells lovely. In the base of this, so underneath those things, you get the honey, the tonka bean, the vanilla and the tobacco, and these just all blend together in a smooth way. It smells exceptional. It's definitely a fragrance of contrasts, which is really enjoyable. It's got rich notes which contrast really nicely with the lighter, brighter notes. It's a very versatile fragrance because the tobacco is not too dark, the honey's not too sweet, everything is just really nicely balanced. I wore this on a warm, sunny evening and it worked an absolute treat. Does kind of remind me a bit of Xerjoff Naxos, so if you like that fragrance, if you like that style of fragrance, so a sweeter tobacco fragrance that is bright enough to wear pretty much whenever, wherever, I think you would love honey tobacco. We're sticking with the versatile theme for this next fragrance. This one is called Agar Oud. The notes are oud, wood, sandalwood, pepper, rosewood, cardamom and amber. Straight away, this one reminded me of Tom Ford's Oud Wood, or any of the fragrances in that style, the spicy, woody, ambery fragrances, but Oud Wood really was the one that started off this style of fragrance. But I find this a bit stronger and a bit punchier. Oud Wood is a fairly subtle fragrance, and I think this one is a bit more of a statement maker. The Tom Ford is one of my all-time favourites, which is why I enjoy this one so much. It's essentially a very easy to wear, mass appealing, spicy woody scent that has a lot of class about it. I get a bit more projection and longevity from this than I do from Oud Wood, which for me makes this a massive winner. All right, we're going a little more complex with this next one. I love this, it's called Patchouli TB. The notes are green apple, nutmeg, tonka bean, rose, vanilla and patchouli. This is fruity, spicy, rich and creamy with a really nice assertive woody accord in the base. It has a lot of complexity, a lot of depth and complexity, but it's also smooth and easy to wear. It's also got a lot of projection, so you'll get noticed. To give you an idea of what this smells like, it's in the same style as Mancera's Red Tobacco and Parfums de Marly's Carlisle, so it's strong and rich. I adore those fragrances, particularly in the autumn and the winter because they're so strong. So if you want to make a statement and get noticed, this will do it. Lastly is another complex crowd pleaser. I couldn't decide which I like best out of Patchouli TB and this one, which is why it's a tie for number one. So there are two fragrances at my number one, which is why there are 6 in this top 5 list. So this one is called Benzo Vanille. The notes are benzoin, vanilla, labdanum, gaiac, iris, sandalwood, patchouli, Chinese cedar, musk, rose and bergamot. This is a sweet, rich and creamy scent, but somehow it manages to stay quite light and airy. It doesn't get weighed down by heavy bass notes, so I feel like it's really well balanced. The vanilla is a sweet, warming vanilla and it smells high quality. It smells very natural to me because the vanilla has that little bit of an animalic edge, which I love. I don't get much rose or iris, so I was quite surprised to see those in the notes. It doesn't come across to me as a floral perfume at all. I guess those notes are supporting the fragrance and you know, providing a balance to the overall composition. So what I mainly get is this velvety, smooth vanilla with resins. Really easy to wear, very addictive, pretty versatile. Doesn't particularly remind me of anything else, which is why this one has been getting a lot of wear. So there are my thoughts on this relatively new house. I love all 6 of the fragrances I've mentioned, but I love some of the others. Some I couldn't decide whether to include in this list. It was really hard to come up with my final 6. So check out all 15 fragrances, maybe try and get some samples. Definitely a house worth checking out. As you can see, presentation is on the minimal side. The brand seems to be focusing more on what's inside the bottle rather than on the outside, which is a good thing because quality is good, performance is good, and price is also very good as well. So I can definitely recommend this house to you. Once again, the link is in the description below the video. So that's it from me. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you found it useful. Thank you very much for watching. Remember, keep tuning into FM, keep smelling good, and I'll see you in the next one.